Hello, and welcome back to the W Ritz Podcast, the best podcast recorded right now.
That was a really basic intro, Isaac.
I just warned you it'd be basic. I couldn't think of anything better today.
You didn't say it on recording, so now people are going to think I came up with that
Well, I'm
really
sorry.
basic line to say about your basic intro.
No, at least I'm not as basic as a white girl who likes Taylor Swift.
Who are you talking about there?
No one.
I don't like Taylor Swift.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
we have a guest today.
was-
She just said something.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, almost forgot.
Yeah.
Thought,
It's not like we've rescheduled 16 times this week
Yeah, that was a hassle.
to get people on. Anyway,
You're good.
we have Anna Zeffel on the podcast today.
Hello.
She said she wanted to come on and get herself canceled, so we said bet.
Second appearance by her, if you all
That's
recall.
right. That's right. She came on with Abigail Merwin a few months back. That was a good podcast.
Mhm.
But anyway, we have some allegations that we need to clear up real quick before we get
clear
into
up,
it.
I need to clear up a couple allegations here. See, I don't know if you all know, but recently it has come out. Some random person on the internet, said to me that, well, not to me directly, through a proxy who shall not be named,
Through a little bird.
that I look like a French person, like a French man.
Bro, that's almost as bad as being called a ginger.
Not quite as bad, but almost. Now, see here. I am 50% full pure blood Polish. And as the greatest European country, just objectively, in both, second in food, but
It's really
in
weak.
tanks, no, hush, we're the best. Our
Yeah.
flag, cooler than every other European flag.
Just because you came on a podcast
Coolest
doesn't mean you can tell us
accents.
your opinion.
Poland is like the little nerdy kid that gets bullied, like all
Well,
throughout
okay,
school.
but you know what happens to that nerdy kid when he grows up? He becomes an entrepreneur, starts his own business, and gets a mansion.
That's
has
right.
the best kids
Yeah.
who become really entitled.
Yeah.
And
We'll
become
see.
the jerk popular kids that bully the nerdy kids.
In
but
the movies.
but the nerdy kid becomes successful. So I think
Exactly.
Poland it'll be there eventually. And
I would agree.
I'm also a quarter Italian, which gotta love the Italians.
Oh, yeah.
Best food.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
The best
So-
food.
But you're saying you're not French.
Okay, so I might, after consulting my
Oh.
mom, have a little bit of French blood
Oh,
in me,
boy.
which was
Wait,
the worst,
so what
worst
what
revelation.
allegations are you denying?
That I look French. That's
Oh.
what I'm denying. I don't look French. I look like a pure-blooded American. But
Okay.
if
You
you
just
want
said you were half Polish.
Okay, but here's the thing about America, Anna. America is big melting pot of all the different cultures of the world. So, if you
So American could be anything. is what you're saying.
exactly. And that's why America is the best, because we took the best from everything.
Oh.
We have the best of everything.
Oh.
You know,
took
you can get
From
any
other
type of food
cultures?
here. There's Chinese places everywhere, Italian places.
It's true.
That's true. Fair
You
enough.
know, best food everywhere. Got the strongest military.
Can't beat the Polish
Yep.
pierogies, though.
Oh, you can't.
Those are good.
Especially the banana pepper ones. Those are my favorite.
Never had those.
Yeah, me either.
You should have some. They're really good.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
Anyway.
I'm
you have you said
slightly Norman, like a 1/8 Norman, which is slightly related to the French. So ever so slightly, I am French, but not a lot.
Okay.
mostly
so you're saying
Polish.
you don't look French.
I don't look French.
All right.
Do you think I look French, Isaac?
I never thought you did.
What do you think I look like, Isaac?
I think you look like a very good-looking Italian Polish man who is also a little bit Norman.
Oh, why thank you, bro. That's exactly what I am, by the way. How'd you know that?
Exactly. All right.
Anyway,
So, we have a number of topics here we could get into that we brainstormed for this podcast. We didn't write out anything, obviously. We don't do that here, but we do have some topics. Will, why don't you take your pick
take my
for
pick.
fun?
Why do-
Because
why do
Anna
I
can
get to
talk about
choose?
anything.
Well, she can
I
can
have
choose what we
opinions
want
on
to talk
everything.
about
He
first.
asked me, "What do you want to talk about?" And I'm like, "I could talk about anything. I have opinions on it."
Anything?
Yeah, she
So-
literally just turns to me one day and she's like, I want to come back on your podcast. And I was like, okay, what do you
Sure,
want to talk
That's
about?
all you need to say.
Anything.
Like, we're not picky on who we have
No,
on. If
we're
you want to
not.
come on, you can come on.
Well, I reserve the right to deny your right to come on, but,
Well,
you know.
you you can have that right.
I can. All right, pick a topic, Will.
Why do I have to choose? Okay, why don't you tell me about this third one here? Because I didn't know anything about that.
Okay.
Oh yes.
So there is a movie.
I heard about the movie. I watched a couple videos on it,
Super
but I never
excited.
heard about that third point there.
There is a movie coming out that is an adaptation of the Legend of Zelda series. And
Let's
they're going
go!
to cast a
Let's go!
They're going to cast a transgender
No,
person.
People want them to cast.
Oh, people want them to cast
Okay.
a
So this-
transgender
okay, I
person.
didn't- that's probably why I didn't
As-
hear about it.
What role?
Zelda.
Zelda, I thought so.
Which is like, if it's a man and it looks like Zelda, just play Link then, because they look the same. They
That's
both
true.
Have blonde hair, blue
I mean,
eyes. Like
exactly.
it doesn't matter. Just be Link.
Yeah, if you're a feminine
He's
looking
attractive
man.
enough, so just be Link.
Exactly.
I mean,
Why do people
you
want a
just-
transgender person to play Zelda?
They want more representation.
Oh, okay. I figured it was that.
yeah, but why do you think we're resorting to all these video game movies? Like we had the Mario movie, right? Is it because there actually can be good movies made, or is it just because we ran out of
Was
ideas?
decent. I think Nintendo probably is just seeing the market and grabbing for the
Yeah.
money. But
Yeah.
I think they're doing it well. Like they're not being like Disney. They're not just throwing stuff
Yeah,
out.
I thought the Mario movie was amazing.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I thought it went a little
Okay.
too fast, but
I have heard that.
like in terms of the animation,
it was
that
for
was
kids.
fantastic.
yeah, I
was
mean, like it.
Really nice to watch. Yeah.
It was a fun movie. Like I think sure the pacing might have been a little fast, but like it's not supposed to
You
be
don't get a
anything
lot of fun movies nowadays, so it was.
Yeah, it's not
True.
supposed to be spectacular.
True.
Like I mean,
I've heard people think that the Zelda movie is gonna be, I don't know what it's called, but what they did for Avatar, where like real people, but then like they put CGI kind of over their facial expressions and
Ooh.
stuff. Like the Avatar, like the blue people one.
Yeah, they got to give Link
Right.
the elf ears.
well, they can
obviously.
use makeup for that, can't they? Or like
Right.
some special type of movie magic or whatever.
It's probably cheaper to do CGI though.
That's
Yeah.
annoying because that'll probably look really bad.
I know.
Well, stuff in the past, whoever they cast as like the director has a lot of experience with that.
Okay.
So he's supposed to be really good at that, and I don't know, it could look good.
Maybe
But
a
it
little
doesn't matter
good.
who plays them; they're gonna. Look
I mean,
fine.
okay, as long as the movie's good and not absolute garbage, I'll be happy.
Right.
Even if
Yeah,
even if they
anything
do
Zelda,
CGI the
I'll
faces.
be happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be that happy if they did put a transgender actor in it, but that's the way the world's going. So we can either decide to enjoy movies
all right.
or not, I guess.
On a slightly more lighthearted note, who do you want to play Link and Zelda and Ganondorf and all the fun characters?
Oh,
Like, what's your ideal cast for the movie?
I think Tom Holland would be great as Link.
That's what
'cause he's
everybody's
short
saying. That's what everybody's
That's true.
saying.
and he's cute.
He doesn't have to. He has like a square face, and Link is very pointy.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing.
That's
I
true.
guess.
I don't know if everybody knows him, but like from Maze Runner, Thomas Brody,
Ooh.
him.
Yeah,
I like
I know him.
He's like 30, but I've heard talk about him. He has kind of the eyes. I could see it.
All right.
Yeah, and then for Zelda, I don't know. I don't know who would make a good Zelda.
Yeah,
I can't
don't
think of
know
anybody
enough
off the top of my head.
celebrities just to rap
Yeah, me
people
Well,
off.
Tom
neither.
Holland just came to mind because he's short and Link is short too, to be honest. And past that,
He is.
I don't know.
I think.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah,
pretty
Link is
short.
short. He's shorter than Zelda in
right.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Right.
It'd be funny if they cast someone like Robert De Niro as Link, though. I would like that actually. That'd be funny.
Or someone like Kevin Hart. Imagine they.
And
like,
so I
pull-
said, here the problem, Zelda. Here the problem.
Imagine they pull somebody completely
no,
out
no,
of
this
pocket.
is the problem.
Well, here's the thing. It's gonna be made
Well,
in Japan.
excuse me, princess.
Ganondorf still exists.
It's like a lot of their companies in Japan and those Asian countries, like they don't do like trans stuff. Like they won't do it. They won't. They're a lot really racist too. Like actually
I know.
racist.
Oh yeah.
I know. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so, for better or worse, it's probably gonna come out as a bunch of white straight people. Which is what we want.
Diversity.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Now, speaking of characters in fictional series here, what about characters in books? Because Anna has this theory that all the men are portrayed as simps and all the women have to be strong and independent.
I've read so many series this summer that I've just got bored of because all the men are just like these emotional, like simpy characters, and it's like the strong main character woman, and it's the same trope every time, and it gets annoying. Like I used to be one of those people that like I'm not gonna quit in the middle of a book series. I can't do that. But Now I do because it gets boring. Like that's how.
There's a fallacy that relates to what you just described. What's it called? I'm blanking on it, but it's
Is it the all or none thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's not called all or none, but I think
But
it's the like the
I'm not seeing every book out there, but a lot of the popular ones that are on like TikTok and stuff.
sunk costs fallacy. I think that's what
Explain what
relates
that
to it.
is.
Sunk cost fallacy. It's when you're like,
Give us a logic lesson,
okay, well,
teacher.
to use the common example of like gambling, it's like you put so like say you're like, in Vegas and you're gambling your money and you're like you lost a couple $100. The sunk cost fallacy is that, I've already invested this much time and money into this, so why quit now?
Okay,
So that's
yeah.
what it is. So
Yeah.
I've invested this much time into whatever I'm doing, so why would I quit?
When
Even
really
though
you could be wasting more time.
even though quitting would be more beneficial
Right,
than
yeah.
continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that's interesting to me is that all these characters in books, I mean, if you want to write a good book, you have to make it realistic. Like, the point of fiction is it's not always to make a book that's just like real life. Like, there are a lot of fantasy stories that
Right.
take place in alternate universes, but you have to make the characters realistic, right?
There
And
does need to-
relatable,
there
because
like
women
the
are not
themes-
emotionless rocks.
there does
Right.
need to be
That's not
some
how it
sense
works.
of realism in every work of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and as soon as you say that all men in books have to be weird little losers like Ken from the Barbie movie, that's when you
Okay,
start having
Ken
problems. Because that's not realistic. Like, Will is a Chad,
But like
real
Ken,
men aren't like Ken.
that song you sung, that hit right here, man.
Okay. The I'm Just Ken song,
Yes.
that's great. How about the I'm Just Pete song, though? You heard that one, Will?
Yep.
I know you've heard it, Anna. I'm just Pete, and I like drugs.
Oh.
I'm mentally ill, and I'm on drugs.
Oh my gosh.
It's all about how Pete Davidson is a sucker.
Back to the book thing.
Okay,
Yes,
take it
us
away.
back.
But so what happens in these books is it tends to, like, I'm reading one right now and I'm enjoying the series otherwise, but it's just annoying to me because the main character, I won't say the series, but the main character is this woman and she's the most powerful person. Like, she has the most powerful and like, it's one thing if it's like superhuman stuff, like if it's superpowers, okay, maybe you can shoot lightning better than other people, whatever. But like when it comes to like actual physical strength, it's not realistic. But so she's like this strong woman and she's like keeping her emotions, in check. And the man is like kind of weak and like he's falling apart emotionally. It's like women don't actually want that. Like, we want to be the emotional ones. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Right.
like, and men don't do that as much as women do. They don't fall apart. And it's annoying to read because I want to read what's real kind of and what I want. And it's not a man like that.
Well, it's not particularly encouraging when you're reading fiction that just tells you that, a lot of these fictional stories take place in ideal worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have this ideal world where
Well,
where
post-apocalyptic
every character, let's just say every character lives up to their full potential in these books, right? Like,
That's really hard to say.
they
'cause,
live
like,
it-
all art has like different meanings and purposes.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm just saying for a lot of books, they live in this world that really sucks, but they're living up to their full character.
Right. Okay.
And the book is telling you that if you want to live up to your full character, well, if you're a man, you should be a sappy, emotional loser, and if you're a woman, you have to be this strong, independent person that never cries. And that's just not very healthy because it doesn't reflect reality and it doesn't reflect what the best in people actually
and it's
is.
like telling girls who read that stuff and believe in it that like that's how they need to be, and it's not good for women to be like that. Like, they're not made to be like that,
Right.
and the women who try to be like that like end up destroying themselves. So
Well,
it's not
it's
healthy.
trying to teach like both genders to act like the opposite one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and I'm not going to
Which
say
is gonna lead in all the ultimate destruction of America.
I'm not
Because
going
that's not the way God intended us to
That's
act.
right.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that every little girl I know is like this, but a lot of the ones who are all about this girl power stuff that they read about in superhero or, watching superhero movies or read about in books, and a lot of them grow up to be really annoying. I'm not going to lie.
Who could have foreseen?
Yeah, right. Like, girl power is this nice little thing, like, oh, girl power.
Like the Marvels
I
movie.
like pink.
I've
but
heard that was awful.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
it
I've
did
seen-
awful.
I've
did.
heard like it's like genuinely the worst Marvel movie that ever came out.
I saw some kind of meme the other day. It was like this blue-haired lady sitting in a movie theater, and she was like, "Why did no one come to my presentation on gender equality?" And then the next frame, it shows the Marvels movie on the screen.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
look,
The
you've
joke
got
is
what you
like,
want.
it's
No
just a
one likes it.
lecture. It's just a lecture, man.
Anyway, you want to know what book series isn't like that?
Oh, we got an ad.
Isn't
go.
like, that where the gender roles are flipped.
Right. What book series you
Stormlight
should
Archives. Stormlight Archives. You two here and all you listening should read it so I can talk to you about it. It's amazing. Main character, well, the male main character, well, all three of the male, okay, it's weird. There are a lot of main characters.
read? Okay.
But all three of like the main male leads are all super manly and all super duty driven. They're all very real people. And the one female like lead character, she acts like a woman, but like she's super smart and like she's competent.
So, like, in the best form of a woman?
Yes. Like she still has flaws, obviously.
Well, yeah,
that she
yeah,
overcomes. Like she's
Right.
very naive because she grew up in like a wealthy family.
Oh.
Rich
But like
kid.
she is a rich kid. But she does quickly learn that the world kind of sucks sometimes.
Now, you see, the real reason why Will wants us all to read this series is because right now the only person he can talk about it to is his brother.
And I love talking to my brother Joe. Great guy.
Joe, if you're listening, we love you.
We do love you. He was on the podcast briefly.
We prank called him
we
once.
did,
Yeah,
we
that
did
was
call
fun.
him once.
He was great.
We could call him again, ask him about the book series.
Oh, we should
and
do that.
opinion.
We should do that sometime.
But yeah, it'd be nice to have more people to talk to it about because it is really, really good.
Yeah, see, I just make my sister read the stuff, and I actually, all of my, like, girlfriends are super booky, too. So, like, whenever one of us finds a book we like, everybody reads it. Like, it just gets, like, dispersed throughout the group. Like, we have, like, 5, 6 of us that's just like, hey, I found this book. And then, like, one of us buys it, and then it just kind of goes through everybody. What did we do that with recently? The Inheritance games. I don't know if you've heard of that series.
Games.
That was actually a pretty good one, and it did the gender roles thing. The man was kind of pathetic, one of them, but it was like a very good mystery. And so like one of the girls bought it, and then like we just each took a turn borrowing it, and it's awesome because then like I have friends who read the same stuff.
Book
That's
club.
awesome.
Kind of, but like unofficially.
Yeah, right. You don't get together to discuss that.
We just scream at each other over text about it,
Makes sense.
which is just as
Nice.
fun.
Anyway, Will,
Anyway,
what are we doing here? What should we go to next?
I don't know.
I don't know. Should we plug this Wegman seltzer real quick?
We do that every episode.
It's a tradition.
Good.
Folks,
Wegman
folks,
seltzer.
you know by now that here at the W Ritz Podcast, we love Wegman's seltzer water, and
Mhm.
Anna does not.
Ooh.
It hurts my mouth.
So that just discounts her
caffeine
entire
stuff.
opinion.
Is it? Carbonated.
Carbonated. That's what I meant. Yeah. not
Carbonated.
caffeine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said caffeinated.
I meant
I was like,
carbonated.
The
I knew it
caffeine.
was the wrong
The
word.
caffeine hurts my mouth.
I was like, no, caffeine's the wrong word. But
Yeah,
yeah, carbonated.
I do the same thing sometimes.
And while we're doing ads,
Most
let
of
me
the
just
time.
say,
They both begin with a C. I do this thing when I'm reading. It might be a little bit of like, I forget what the thing's called, but like I read the first few letters, then just assume the rest of the word, and so that's why I mix up words like that.
interesting.
No, I don't want to make an assumption here, but isn't that how dyslexic minds work?
Yeah, so I definitely don't have it, but I have like family members who do, so it's
You might have like a
little bit of dyslexia. and
a
ADHD.
little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because my brother Steve is dyslexic, and from like what
Yep.
my mom explained, that's how like the dyslexic mind works, where they'll like
Yeah.
read like
Yeah, yeah.
the
So I
beginning
don't like
and ending
medically
and then
have
assume
it, but I do have those tendencies.
You're right.
So, yeah, my vocabulary is weird sometimes.
Amen.
Relatable.
Yeah, Isaac knows.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got to think of something funny to do for the second
Funny to
segment,
do.
Will. Do you have any
We're still
ideas?
recording, right? So
We
we're
are.
We're just gonna record our
We should
discussions.
we should brainstorm. No, I don't think we'll do that, but we will be right back.
Oh. Well. Will we? Will we actually?
Maybe. I
We'll
don't
be
know.
dead.
I think we need a minute to brainstorm, folks. So thanks for listening to the first segment. We'll be back. We promise. Welcome back to the second segment of the W Ritz Podcast, everyone. You know, in the first segment, we discussed how there have been some allegations against my boy William here that he looks French. And we very much disagree. We think he's not looking French at all. But there's someone who does, and we have that someone on the phone with us today. Anna, would you care to introduce your sister?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm chewing. This is Clara. She will not give up the ship that Will looks French. So.
Yeah, he does. It's the mustache, the little hair smoothie up in front.
That's true, actually. I see that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's mad.
Now,
Let him be mad.
he has to refute these allegations in person, though. Right, Will? You have to...
Of course.
You were supposed to speak in French, bro.
What kind of question is that opening there, buddy? Well, I plug things into Google Translate first, man. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't speak
Okay.
French.
Will's
I'm not French.
Clara, he learned some French just for you.
Will's working on putting words into Google Translate.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Speak.
He's
Use your
working
words.
himself up to it.
It deleted itself.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know any French, Clara. I'm sorry.
This proves that Will is not French.
What? What should I call you then? Oh.
Call her Clara, I dare
He's
you.
not British.
I'm a
Clara,
little
does
bit
does
British.
he look Polish?
I'm a little
and
British.
a little Italian?
Sure, but mostly French.
Stop it, please. I can't have people know this. That I look French.
You do.
No, I
They
don't.
just have to look at you.
I bet you like baguettes.
Oh.
I bet you like baguettes. too.
Baguettes are
I
good.
do actually. They are good.
Okay, well, fair enough.
They are. I like baguettes.
I don't need to be French to enjoy baguettes.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes. Have you ever met a single Chinese person that likes baguettes? No?
No?
I proved
Have
my
you even
point.
met a Chinese person though?
Of course I have.
I don't like the way you said that.
Yes, of course I've met
Your
a Chinese person.
Your alter
It's-
ego with an accent doesn't
It's
count.
it's my second personality.
Oh, that fits.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
Anyway.
do you think you've successfully defended yourself against the allegations?
No,
that
I'm
you're
not
French?
done yet. I'm not done
Okay,
yet.
keep going.
Okay, here's the thing. My facial hair does not make me look French. It makes me look better. My mom says so. She says I look better with facial hair. So I'm not ever going to shave it, no matter what you say to me, Clara.
You don't have to shave it. It just makes you look even more French.
All right. I'm going to...
Okay, what do you have against
being French?
what do you have against French people that you don't want to look French?
Okay, here's the thing.
He's doing a bunch of hand movements. I don't know
Here's
what's
the
going on.
thing. Here's the thing. French people, they've done absolutely nothing to me. But they're French, and that's why I don't like them.
Well, why?
That's racist, bro.
What's wrong with being French?
French people are white, so... And I'm also
Oh,
white.
yeah, you're good
Actually,
then.
wait,
You're
I'm
good then.
Italian.
You're good then.
Because sometimes that doesn't count as being white. Sometimes. But sometimes it does.
You're white.
I know. I know.
Are you
Okay, so genuinely, I've been playing it up this whole time. I actually don't care if people think I look French. I just
Okay.
thought it would be funny to pretend I was offended.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
No,
well,
generally,
what am what am I
pretend to be
supposed to
offended.
do? Just be like, okay, you can think I look French.
I mean, we thought
Yeah,
this
that's
would
what
be a
you're
good
supposed to do.
second segment topic.
Oh.
So
See, I don't do what I'm supposed to do. That's the thing.
you're a rebel. Shame.
Yeah, shame.
Anyway.
What a shame. Anyway,
We got to think of something else to do for the second segment here, Will.
we can.
I mean, this was fun, but
You want to talk about Tim too?
No, you guys can help me with my math homework though.
Okay,
We're hanging out-
what do you have having a problem with?
Well, we're doing like the graph things, but it's like there's like a line across, and you have to find like the slope.
Oh, I can help you with this when I get home.
Okay, that's fine. When are you getting home, by the way?
Like 6-ish.
Oh, okay.
But
This
what
just
about-
in, folks.
What about the
We
water
have an answer.
What about the water molecules that aren't
I
completely
thought you were gonna say
surrounded?
watermelon.
Sorry, that was
What about
Okay.
water?
that was abrupt, but we have an answer to the
What
age-old
about
question of whether or not water is wet.
Plain.
Is water wet? We have an answer, guys. We got to get to it on the second segment here because it's a stupid debate for a stupid segment.
Okay, so my mom's a chemistry teacher. I know these things. If you have a singular molecule of water, that water is not wet. That molecule of water is not
So,
wet.
objection.
No, shh.
You said that your mom is a chemistry teacher,
Yeah.
therefore you know these things.
So I could ask her these things.
You're not a chemistry teacher.
No.
I don't
I
believe.
did.
Overruled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Objection overruled.
Being
Your
wet.
Honor, shut the heck up. You weren't
No,
even there.
I'm the judge in this scenario. Shut up.
being wet is
Dodge.
defined as touching or being surrounded by water. Any water molecule is surrounded by and touching a bunch of other water molecules. Therefore, each individual molecule is wet. If it is a singular molecule on its own, then it's not wet. But if it is more than one molecule, it's wet. Because it's touching itself, which makes it wet.
Well, then water is both. I mean, if you only have one water molecule.
But how can
Then
it
it's
be
not wet.
both? I feel like everything's either wet or it's dry. Like there's no in between.
What about damp?
I think that's still wet. That's
I
just
mean,
like a
yeah.
lesser
Yeah,
form of being wet.
Yeah, that's
Less
yeah.
intense wet.
Yeah. I mean, like a damp towel is just like a slightly wet towel, but
Right.
like
Yeah.
what some people would call a wet towel is like one that's been like dipped in water and like soaked
Right.
it all up. And you can like.
But
wring
if
it
it's
all out.
touching water, it's wet.
Do you think
Entire
water is
thing?
wet? Let us know in the comments.
we should
below.
put up a YouTube poll.
We should.
water
That'd be
wet?
fun.
Yeah, that'd be
That'd be fun. Is
I'll
water
debate
wet?
people in the comments if they want to debate
Oh
me on
yes.
this.
Oh,
I've
boy.
debated
I wanna see
Lucas,
that.
and I won. He was like, "Okay, you win." Like he told me I
Oh,
won.
did you win?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I
How-
pulled
how
the.
did-
I asked my chemistry teacher mom, but she agreed with me.
Well, then you're disqualified.
No,
You have
I
to have
just
the-
consulted an expert.
An expert. You're saying Lucas isn't an expert?
Yeah. What are you saying about
He's
our
not
boy
a
Lucas?
chemistry
You're saying he's-
teacher.
Stop being disrespectful.
I'm saying
But
he
he
didn't
can't know
consult an
chemistry?
expert, and I did.
How do you know he didn't? How do you know?
Because he didn't. He
how
would
do
have
you know
brought it.
his
in-
mom isn't a chemistry
He
teacher?
would have brought it into an argument because I know.
How,
he's not
how
a
do you know he
chemistry
doesn't want to
teacher.
play that card? Like he wants to like rely on his own understanding. Of
Okay,
the-
well then
the
he
argument.
lost.
Oh wow, some serious allegations going up against my boy Lucas here.
He
I'm
was
not a
like,
big
"Okay,
fan.
you're right."
Do you have a recording of him saying that? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not
It
Show
was
us
on
the
the group
proof.
chat.
Oh, was it?
I don't know what group chat.
Let me see the group chat.
We need
I
the
gotta-
It's
let
gonna
me
receipt.
see
take
the
me
logs.
a while to find
I bet
it.
I want to see
This
the
was
logs.
like 2 years ago. I don't even know if we still have that chat, but I will look.
Bottom line, let us know in the comments if water is wet.
Here's what I think about the whole water is wet thing. Who cares? Who cares?
True.
Like genuinely.
If you have time to debate whether
Cares.
water is
People
wet,
who
you're kind
want to
of a
be
loser.
right all the time care.
See,
Like James.
I'm okay. James who?
Far away.
What? Don't be slandering my boy James either.
He doesn't. He gave us a whole speech Monday about how he hates losing, and then lost to
Oh,
my little sister
well-
in Mario Kart.
well-
Oh, he's gonna hate you now.
You can't just call him out publicly like that. But I do know he did tell that to me one time that
He
he hates
raged.
losing.
He rage quit.
But what?
He
All
rage
right,
quit.
Quit slandering James here. Don't need to bully him. I love you, James. You're a great
We
guy.
all love you, James.
Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I'm okay with not being right, so I don't need to participate in this argument of whether water is wet. Instead, we should argue about manly things like,
Like Poland being the best country.
yes,
Is that
like
what you consider
Poland being
manly?
the best country with the best tanks,
Okay.
the best everything.
Historically, I don't think you're right.
Think up
We'll
a
have to
Historically,
see, though.
well, you're about to see a Polish comeback because
think up. Think
No,
up a
I'm
topic.
Polish, so I'm not even like biased here. It's
I think
just true.
well, I think you're just a traitor then. You just don't have
Ooh.
any
He pulled the traitor
sense of
card.
patriotism for your heritage.
I make kielbasa every year with my dad.
That's
Not good enough.
no, that's pretty good.
It's really good.
It's I love a good kielbasa and a pierogi.
Will, give us a manly topic to debate right now.
A manly topic. All right.
Cars.
No, that's not manly.
Chevy
enough.
sucks.
It's not manly enough. What Fortnite season was the best season? Right now, right here, right now, we're
I
debating
play
it.
Fortnite. I'm not good, but I'm not bad.
Same. See, that was I actually don't know because I barely ever play.
I don't
yeah, I don't
know.
know. I started
Yeah,
playing
same.
2 weeks ago.
I play it whenever my friends are playing it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep, same.
I liked the season where Master Chief was introduced as a skin. That was fun. That was cool. I like
Yay.
the Spider-Man one too.
Yay.
Yay.
Think of something more manly.
More manly than Fortnite?
Yes.
Impossible.
No
Fortnite
such
is not
thing.
No
manly.
such thing as. There's no such thing. All right, why don't you think of something more manly, Isaac?
Manly?
That might
Okay.
be tough for him.
Oh.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Oh, slander. Is the Barbie Girl song a good song? Let's discuss its artistic qualities.
No, I hate her voice. It
I'm
annoys
a
me.
Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in
Your voice is
plastic.
worse.
It's
It's
fantastic.
fantastic.
Shut up. You know you enjoyed it when I sang I'm Just Ken at the dance.
Yeah, because the music was loud enough.
Wow. You never sent me the video, by the way.
I never got it. I never got it. No one
Who
ever sent
has
it to
the
me.
video?
Abigail does.
Oh.
No, you're not getting that video, listeners.
Dang it.
You can get it.
Oh.
Just not the
well,
listeners.
I'm just going to repost it to
But
YouTube.
seriously, let's discuss. Let's discuss the
Discuss the
qualities of the-
quality of-
Actually, Mattel was really mad about that song because it like changed the Barbie image. Like it was supposed to be like just a nice woman who could like do like work and do like men's stuff, but like that kind of turned it into like a sexual thing, and they didn't want that. So like that's why it wasn't included in the Barbie movie, and like Mattel's like actually not happy about that
Interesting.
song.
I never knew that.
Come on, Barbie.
It's like
Let's
against
go
their
party.
image. So
Well, then it must be a good song if Mattel doesn't like it.
and
Let's
as
be
much
honest.
as I don't like Ava
Fair
Max's feminism, her version is better. I, like
I didn't
it
know
better.
she made a version.
It wasn't. It's
I
like,
know nothing about
I don't
the
pay
song
attention to that
besides,
stuff.
you know,
like,
it's called Kings and
the
Queens.
Ben
It's the
Shapiro
same
Oh,
melody.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Kings and Queens. It's the same melody, but different words. But it's the same. Yeah.
So she was lazy and wanted to make a feminist song.
Yep.
Isn't
Also,
that
did
how
you
it
know
always goes?
That Barbie song, Kings and Queens by Ava Max, and You Give Love a Bad Name is all the same.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I could see it.
It is like the.
Or like the video about how
Main part, it's all the same.
canon in D is like all the
Oh yeah, Pachelbel's canon is
yeah,
everywhere.
it's in every song. It's in a Green Day song.
It's
one
in
of
a
the best
Maroon
Green Day
5 song
songs.
too. Memories.
Yeah. You wouldn't know about anything about Maroon 5, would you, Will?
Maroon 5. No, I know about Maroon 5.
Oh my gosh, you must be a woman.
I went through a phase.
Okay, can't blame you though.
I mean,
that
like,
Adam
I know
Levine.
a couple of their songs.
No, I just like the songs. The guys.
I mean the
Everyone knows Sugar.
yeah. What's the other one that I know?
Oh, you probably know Payphone.
I know Pay.
I don't know about that one.
Maps.
It's weird when you listen to Maroon 5 because when you go back far
Here's the-
enough.
Oh,
Like, it's the one
Animals.
It's the one that goes like, "Here's to the friends that you got."
Oh, that's
Memories.
Memories.
Yeah.
Memories,
That's
yeah,
Pachelbel's
that's
canon, yeah.
yeah, that's the one.
It's weird because they used to not be a pop band. They used to be something else. But like when you listen to their early albums and then you listen to their later ones, like the earlier ones are quality. I think Overexposed is their best album, but
right.
the earlier ones are definitely better than the later ones.
But what's fun about like all these songs being like based after Pachelbel's canon is you know those notes. Like I can do that on piano, and then you can just add whatever song. You can sing whatever you want to it.
Right.
It's fun.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very versatile melody. Anyway, we should discuss something that's really manly, Will.
Like what?
We should discuss the military draft.
Ooh.
And thus begins the third segment of the W Ritz
I thought you were
podcast.
gonna say this arm thing.
Well,
Oh.
they can't see the way I'm resting my arm on the mic stand right now,
He just
so
like
They're
put his
about
arm
to.
up dramatically. So.
yep.
You did, and then we both copied him.
Yep.
Oh, Will's taking a photo of me right now.
Gotcha.
Whoops.
What? I saw that, buddy.
Let's talk about the military draft, everybody. So,
Wow.
Will, are you pro or anti-military draft?
Anti.
Anna, what's your opinion on the military
I didn't
draft?
get a lot of time to think about it. I just heard a lot about how like women want to be included in the draft now, and I think
Yeah.
that's
They,
stupid.
they want to?
Did
Or
they?
some people want them to in the name of equality, but no,
Well-
women cannot.
Well, I think here's
No one should be forced to go to war, but
Yeah.
women just aren't going to be as good. Like they're not going to be useful.
I would be in favor of
They
sending
would-
the feminists to war. I mean, if they want equality, we can give
like,
them
here's,
equality.
here's the thing. Like I agree. I don't think they should be drafted. But if they're so gun ho about equality
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
then let them.
Right.
See
right.
how they like it.
Yeah, except I don't want to be part of that. Nope.
Well, yeah.
Also, the thing is, women like there's they're going to be targeted on the battlefields because there's a lot more they can do to women than men. Like no, like realistically speaking.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, there's no way they should put them out there. It's just that's awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad when, your society says that in order to defend itself, we should draft women. I mean, honestly, it's sad when it says that your society has to draft anybody to defend itself. Because if you
Right.
can't create a society where people want to go to war to save it, then is your society really worth saving? I don't know. I don't know about that.
It's hard to know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I don't think anybody has a right to tell someone else to go to war.
I don't.
But it's worse when you do it to women, for
Especially
sure.
if it's not a war even against America.
I know.
Like if Biden wants to get us involved in something else, it's like, no, you don't get to send our people
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I don't
So if
want
it's like a state of like national emergency where like America is like threatened,
Like we're being bombed.
like
we need
maybe
to
then
go-
like
yeah.
maybe then we should just like get off our butts and actually go do something.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we should we as a people should not be forced to go fight for another country.
Right. I don't think we should be forced to fight for our own country either. Because all our country does is tax us.
Yeah.
And if they can't defend themselves with our money, then how are they going to do it with us fighting for them?
That's a good point.
I mean, come on. But
What about incentivizing it?
I think that's fine. I think that even giving criminals the option to go to war instead of serving out their sentences is fine. I just don't think that you should
an
force
interesting
people
idea.
to.
Yeah. That was my idea. I said that, Isaac.
I think you did, yeah.
Stealing ideas now.
You said that we should force them. I think we should give them the choice. You can either die in prison or die on the battlefield.
That's why I said in place of if they don't want to go to prison, you can go to war.
Yeah. Which is worse, Will? Would you rather go to prison or go to war? Interesting little
I'd
brain
rather go to
teaser.
prison,
I
for the
mean,
record.
prison is more comfortable by far
Right.
because you're not real unless you're you're at risk of dying because a lot of murders happen in prison. But
Yeah, gang violence.
Well,
all
also,
that,
are
yeah.
you a minor?
no,
Oh, well, I was gonna say then you can go to juvie. That's
no,
easier, but
I'm 18.
well, there's a difference there.
Yeah, I know. I would not go to juvie, but prisons are more comfortable
Right.
Yeah.
than because and more you're getting sent out to go fight on a battlefield.
Yeah. But at the same time, you get to keep your honor if you go to war, at least.
Honor.
I would rather go to prison for sure, but you gotta be ready to realize that if you go to prison, no one's going to like you anymore.
What about prison for life or 2 years on the battlefield?
2 years on the battlefield,
Probably 2
probably.
years on the battlefield.
I wouldn't
'Cause,
like it, but at least
you're-
I'd
if
die
you're going
quick.
to
If I'm gonna
prison-
die, at least I'd die quicker.
Yeah, if you're going to prison for life, you're just stuck in limbo
I know.
until you die.
Although I think some,
At least with going in the service for 2 years, you at least have a chance at living a normal life again.
right. Although honestly, I'm not sure why criminals don't enjoy prison in modern America or in really any developed
do.
Western nation. I know some do, but
Some do, actually.
why wouldn't you? You get free food. You get to hang out with your prison buddies all day, and every once in a while you get to participate in beating some child sex offender up. Why wouldn't you like doing that?
That part's actually pretty appealing.
Well, it's freedom,
Yeah.
but yeah, I get it.
yeah.
That doesn't
Well,
mean I
some-
want to go to
there's an
jail.
Office episode.
No, some people actually dislike the lack of freedom that prison gives you. They like being told what
true.
to do every day.
Yeah.
Having their entire day planned out and not having to think for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
There's an Office episode where there's some guy comes in and he's talking about how his experience in prison, and the people started being like, "Oh, it sounds like here," but you guys get free food, and it was
Yeah.
And
just-
then they all want to go to prison. Yeah.
The thing about that is he's not going. The crime he described, I forget what it was, but it was some finance crime that would
Yeah.
get him sent to a low tier prison, not a
Yeah.
high security one.
right.
Now Prison Mike, he was probably in the highest security prison ever. Goodness,
Mike.
man.
yeah.
Still-
Good old
Still
prison
one of the
Mike.
greatest bits The Office has ever done.
Yep.
Good old
Yo,
Mr.
I'm Prison Mike.
Good old Mr. Brown,
here to
if that
scare
is
you
really your name. Yeah.
Prison Mike, what is the absolute worst part about prison? Don't encourage him. The worst part about prison was all the Dementors flying around and they come down and suck the soul out of your body.
That's right.
And it hurt. It hurt.
Well, you have. I am convinced you have 90% of The Office committed to memory.
Oh, my mom would like you.
100%.
Yeah.
A quarter of my sense of humor comes from The Office.
Well, that's why you're so funny,
Well,
naturally.
thank you.
My mom made me watch The Office with her, and I ended up enjoying it. But then she gets mad when I get dirty jokes.
when you get them.
Yeah, and I'll like laugh at something.
Anna, you
and
weren't supposed to
she'll be
understand
like-
that.
And I'm like, you're the one who introduced me to this
How
stuff.
do you know what that means?
You
How
know,
do you
or
know
I'm
what that
like, that's what she
insinuation
said.
means?
She's like, I'm like-
Anna.
Classical education.
And there we go. We have one more thing to discuss today on the W Ritz podcast. We want to talk about classical education because Anna's a homeschooler and she needs to make herself feel like she was raised right.
so are you.
We're all homeschoolers.
Oh, they
at
don't
this
know
point.
that.
Oh, yeah, that's
All our
right.
listeners are homeschoolers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, some of them go to an online Christian private school called Veritas Press Academy.
The facial expression changed there.
They still do it at home though, so it's still technically homeschooling.
Why don't you stop being a nerd?
Bro's got the glass and he's got his finger pointed out like the little nerd emoji. Urethra.
Actually. Anyway, classical education. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it, it's not, is it good or is it bad? Is it ideal, right? Because, I think that a lot of education is, I think education is generally a good thing, unless you're educating on certain not so great topics, but it's always good to become more informed and more knowledgeable. And so that the question is, what's the best way to do that? What's the best way to make kids in particular more knowledgeable than they were the day before or the day before that? Because I think that kids need to learn something new every day if they're going to keep interested in what they're learning, right? Like there are some days when I feel like I learn nothing from certain classes, and those are the days that are really boring. And the question is classical education better at that? Because it does follow a more methodical approach where, like the first years you're just memorizing all these facts. It's not necessarily like you are learning something new every day. You're just learning, you're learning how to think, right? Like, should we teach kids facts so that they stay interested, or should we learn or teach them how to think, right?
Right.
So first of all, what is classical education?
Yes.
For
why don't we define
any
our
of you
terms?
homeschoolers that don't know, we got to
should
define
our
it.
terms here before we get into a discussion about it. Like classical education taught us.
Right. Define your terms and be logical.
Well, actually, that's something I haven't thought about. It's a definition because I was at public school really young, so I don't really know like the difference, like what a normal public school education would look like. I just know I like mine.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
I know I'm happy with it, and I mean it works differently for different people.
Yeah.
Well, I looked it up just to get the internet
Classical
definition.
education is the
from-
racist, bigoted education system through which private Christian homeschool idiot racist Nazis send their children. Something like that.
That's not at
All
all what
buzzwords.
it's saying.
Oh,
It says the classical education movement is or renewal advocates for a return to a traditional education based on the liberal arts, the canons of classical literature, the fine arts, and the history of civilization.
Okay, I would also add that the way it does is grammar, which is first grade through 6th grade. The kids are learning facts because that's when their brains can pick up these things. That's when they're learning their Latin
that's when
terms. That's
their
when they're
brains
just
are the most spongy. It's like
exactly,
absorb
they
the
can
most
soak up
knowledge.
those facts. And then you get to 7th grade, and especially high school, and that's when you learn to use those facts.
Yeah.
Really, is what that is. It's that you learn all this stuff, but you don't know what to do with it. And then you get to that age, and you figure out how to argue with it, how to understand, how to learn more, right? Like, that's what Rivendell teaches you, really. It teaches you a lot of logic, how to argue for your faith, right? How to understand the Bible. And I think that model really works for... I mean, it's just meant for younger kids can pick up things, and then once you get to high school, you can really apply it to stuff.
yeah, and that's...
I think it just makes sense.
I think classical education is based on how they used to teach stuff back in like the ancient Greek and Roman times too, right?
I think so.
With the emphasis on philosophy. Like now we have all this emphasis on math, which I guess math is nice, math is cool, but
it's not useful in all fields. I
right.
admit
Well,
that. I
no
like math.
one knows how to write anymore. No one knows how to think anymore, and that's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, you're not going to use math. Like, you're not going to get pulled over by the cop and he's going to be like, here, solve this math problem.
Right.
He's not going to do that.
Well,
But like law and history is
Yeah.
very important in everyday life.
History is important. Knowing how to write is important. Knowing how to
Yeah.
speak is important.
How to spell.
And
Yeah.
knowing how to spell is
I'm still
important.
working on that one.
Knowing
We
how
know.
to
Interact with other people so history doesn't repeat itself.
I mean, social interactions. They don't really teach you social interactions in any school setting. At
Oh,
least
Yeah,
in
you
my
well,
experience.
you're on your own with that
The
one.
way Rivendell is I've heard a lot of people say there's a big difference between homeschooled kids and public schooled kids in that homeschooled kids know how to talk to adults. Like, I didn't realize how uncomfortable like public school kids are talking to adults because all the adults in their life are their parents or their teachers. And like for me, I've always been able to talk to adults. I know how to be respectful, but like I'm not like, oh, nice weather. Like, I can carry a conversation with adults. And I didn't
Yeah.
realize that wasn't normal until I started meeting people from public school who are like, yeah, I don't talk to adults. Like, some of my good friends are like at my youth group, I don't talk to their kids there. I talk to the adults. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, the thing is, homeschoolers don't know how to talk to people their age, but they know how to talk to adults. So,
well, also, the way
It's-
Rivendell's
they're
structured.
it's a learned skill.
right.
And some people are born that way. Some people are like born with the ability to socialize with anybody.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I know somebody like that. Shout out to Danny Dimes.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
guy. Love him.
Let's
Love you
go,
to death.
Danny.
Anyway, yeah, but it's a learned skill anyway. And I don't really know why. What did you mouth there? I caught that.
No,
Nothing.
absolutely nothing. It's a
Are you
joke.
saying you
Oh.
don't love Danny?
Also, what's
No, Danny's
important that Rivendell specifically emphasizes is that you don't just need to be with kids your own age. Like, we have rhetoric, right? High school is all in one class. And we
Right.
have freshmen who are friends with seniors, and that's normal because, like, you shouldn't be separated age by age. And also,
There's no class separation.
right, well, and there's no
Karl Marx,
separation.
Karl Marx
both
approves.
senses of the
Obviously, you don't have, like, first grade people interacting with high schoolers, but there is, like, a little bit of mixing because it's important to interact with people of all different ages, not just people your age. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
younger
important.
kids, the younger kids have people to look up to, and the older kids have people to kind of like take
To look
care of
down
and
on.
guide a little bit. So
Mhm.
no, maybe that's what you do. Somebody's supposed to do.
Hey, man, don't blame me. I was raised with a classical education. That's why I messed up. No, just kidding. Are kids better off learning how to socialize? Would it be better if we taught? Okay, here's an interesting idea. So, I heard about this idea a while ago, and we had this. There was this guy who was saying we need to teach. I think he was talking about young men specifically. We need to teach young men how to talk to women because they all suck at it. But he also said something like, could you take that? Like, should we teach people how to talk to each other in class?
No, here's the thing. We just need to not take that away from them because people are online so much they don't need
Yeah.
to. They
Like,
just need to be forced
it's-
into real world experiences.
Yeah,
and have
it's
to do
one
it.
of those things where you learn by doing. Like the best way to learn how to socialize is to put yourself in a social setting where
and
you
nowadays
have to
it's so easy
socialize.
to avoid that. So we need to
Yeah,
make
exactly.
it harder
'Cause,
to
like,
avoid it.
Because like with something like math, that's not something you can just submerge yourself into at a whim.
Right.
Like you have to have like the specific textbooks and like somebody who's knowledgeable about it teach you.
Right.
With socializing, that's just something you develop
And
as
it's
you
not something that everybody does the same way either.
experience. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People have
Like,
different
there's one way to do
personalities.
math, but like not one way to talk to people.
No, yeah. And, like, you have to talk to different people different ways because
Right.
everybody's different.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I think men should just learn not to be afraid of women and just learn to talk to them.
I mean, you don't know if the woman you're talking to is actually a woman anyway. So what are you afraid of?
That's true. A lot of women I'm seeing are like not good at talking to men either. So
Yeah.
Well, I think that just comes from just not
there's like no respect
right.
anymore.
Well, have you seen the TikToks of the women saying like, you should pay me to go on a date with you because I had to get my makeup ready and I had to call off this thing and
Like, did the men
Right.
ask you to do all that or no? He just wanted you to show up.
$200 minimum or I'm not going out with you.
Yikes. I mean,
There was someone who actually said that. Yeah.
oh wait.
So
Why are you looking at me? I wasn't gonna say anything.
I thought you were. You sounded
I
like
just
you were
said-
going to say
I
something.
just said oi, like
Oh.
as an oy vey.
Oy vey. That's a
Oy.
good phrase. I like
is.
it.
I
I
like
like that
oy vey.
phrase.
What does it mean?
It means woe is me.
Woe is me. Actually, we should say woe is me more.
Woe is me, William.
Woe is me.
That would be funny. A little throwback to the 1600s.
Saying that in actual conversation, like, oh, did you hear? Oh, did you hear about this one politician who said something stupid? Woe is me.
Or just in like
That's a homeschooler thing to say.
what
It
about
is, but it would be funny.
or like hey, did you get your homework done for today? I did. How about you? No, I didn't. Woe is me. Woe is me.
Woe is you.
Woe is
Woe
me,
is
for
you.
I have to go to class with people who don't
Many
do their
woes
homework.
to you, sir. Many woes.
Many woe.
Many woe.
Whoa.
Whoa, bro. That's a lot of woe.
Will, I got a question. Do you ever feel like all the introvert memes online are annoying?
They are really
Yes.
annoying. Okay.
This just popped in my head since we're talking about socializing.
Yeah. Cause like, I'm sort of on the introverted side. Like I'm good at socializing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it, but I'm more on a little bit on the introverted side. Cause like I need my alone time and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't always do well.
Right.
Because I get sort of reclusive sometimes, but I've been getting better about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all these people saying like, oh, introverts when they have to go out, and they're like, no, It's like, bro, I don't do that anymore. Like I used to do that when I like was socially awkward.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between being an introvert and a loser.
Exactly.
Right? And I was
Like,
a
they're
loser at one point, and that's when that's when I liked the introvert memes,
Yeah,
and now
like,
they're just annoying.
They're conflating being an introvert with being socially awkward.
right.
Also, like, I feel like it's something people use to like victimize. Like, you
Yeah.
hear a lot of things where it's like, oh, I have mental health issues, I have this, and like it's self-deprecating, and self-deprecating humor is funny at times, but it gets so
Well, like,
there's
when
so much of it
when
where
somebody
it's just annoying. It's like
Yeah.
a bragging, like who has the worse off.
Yeah,
Like,
whose
and
life is worse?
part
Who
of
else
that,
was suicidal this month?
Yeah. So like part of that, a lot of the people like I'm seeing in those videos, like, oh, I'm introverted, so I don't like parties, and it's like, well, stop complaining about it then. Like it feels like you're just kind of doing it to
Yeah.
yourself.
I mean,
And
no
it-
one's
they
no one's
say it
making
as
no
if,
one's
like,
making you go to a party.
oh, I'm introverted, I'm so like special about it. Like 90% of the people call themselves introverts.
Yeah.
So
I think most people actually aren't as introverted as they think they are. They're just socially awkward.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can be an
or
extrovert.
like lazy, like they don't
Yeah.
want to work hard to make connections.
Yeah,
with people.
you can be an extrovert and be socially awkward
You don't
and
just
lazy.
get friends
Right.
from laying in your
Yeah.
room. Like you need to work for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't
like,
want to call it a privilege, but like it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To an
well,
extent,
the,
yeah.
the memes are actually sent to us courtesy of the Chinese government because their goal is to encourage us all to stay in our homes
Of course.
and become weak and
That's a theory.
useless. It is
I
a
mean,
theory.
I would not be surprised if that were true.
It wouldn't surprise me either. Hey, real quick, one more thing. What do you think? And I'm going to talk about this on my podcast over the weekend. Zilbauer, you should listen to it if
exciting.
you haven't. But Nikki Haley said that we need to verify people on social media so that they don't have anonymity, because otherwise the Chinese and Russian governments are going to use anonymous internet accounts to spread propaganda. So therefore we must verify everyone's identity and make sure that their real name is exactly what shows up online. What do you think of that?
I think, why do we care so much about the internet? Like, here's the thing. People can be fake on the internet. We need to stop caring because it can't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that's sort of part of the appeal of the internet is that you can, browse it
Right.
without having to worry about like other people knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And especially since like, your identity, like your personal information being lost, like getting stolen on the internet is like such a like big problem. I don't think we should force people to do it if they don't want to.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
she
some
says
pe-
it's
some-
for
like-
national security, but
And also because like there's especially nowadays, like as we progress, we're getting more and more reliant on the internet. Like more
There's
and
so
more,
much power in it, too. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that if China took over the internet, how screwed would so many people be?
everybody in
Right.
the country would be
Right.
screwed.
Right. So, like, we need to not give it
Like-
that much power.
like,
yeah, I mean,
like-
making it so that your actual name is verified just gives it more power because then they know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like,
it can't be something we take seriously. Like, it's a fun, in my mind, it's like the internet's like some fun thing. Okay, you post your Instagram pictures, you post a YouTube video. Like, it can't be something that's like,
well, yeah. See,
if we lose this, the whole world is
yeah,
screwed.
so like me personally, I don't really care that much about my name being on the internet or like
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But I know there are some people who do care, and like I think
Yeah.
we shouldn't alienate
Oh,
them
yeah.
from the internet just because we're worried about
Right.
the
Right.
other governments who have more efficient and ways of spying on us and stealing our information.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, and later, I mean, later,
And spreading propaganda. They're much more subtle than
Oh, yeah.
simple Twitter posts.
or introvert memes meant to keep you in
Yeah,
your
of
basement,
course.
of course. But she also said that she clarified to say that she doesn't actually want to take away Americans' right to anonymity, just the other governments.
Oh well, then
Because
I agree wholeheartedly.
obviously, anonymity is not a human right. Like we can just take it
Oh.
away from people. I think she's going down a dangerous path there by saying that I want to take away this and that from
I don't know who
people.
this person is.
She's a presidential candidate. She's a Republican, but
Oh.
that'll go to tell you that some Republicans really suck.
Well, just because they're Republican
Yeah,
doesn't mean
people
you have
on
to
both
agree
parties
with
suck.
everything they say.
Yeah, I know. I host a political podcast. Of course, I
Oh,
know
of course.
that.
You're an expert. I forgot.
Yeah,
You're an
yeah.
expert on politics.
I give
now.
my opinion online sometimes.
That makes him an expert.
How
on
about
politics.
that, Will? Deal with it.
I don't give my opinion on the internet.
Yes, you do.
I mean,
You're doing that right now.
that's true. I am doing that right now. So, what am I an expert in?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
I don't play that, but I know a lot of the lore because I watch Matt Pat.
That's a good reason.
It's
To-
a nightmare
to know
fuel,
it.
though. It's not good for me.
Matt
Yeah.
Pat is great. Gotta love him.
I just binge the videos. It's like background now.
Background noise.
His videos are really interesting, and he's really
Oh,
funny.
they are.
Yeah.
He sounds so intelligent. That's why I like it.
Yeah, he's pretty intelligent.
And you
But
like?
speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie is actually pretty good.
I haven't watched it,
Watch it.
I've
but
heard really mixed. I'm not gonna watch it, but I've heard a lot of mixed things about it.
Yeah, though I heard a lot of mixed things at first too, but then I watched it myself and I was like, this isn't too bad.
okay.
I mean, the female cop character was the most annoying person on the planet, most annoying fictional character.
Hey,
I've ever
we
had
were
the
just saying that
displeasure
fiction
experience.
needs to be realistic. There we go.
Whoa.
Not because she's a female, but
If
because
Lillian
she's
were
a
here-
cop.
Because she's blonde.
Oh.
Sorry. If Lillian were here, we'd all be
Hey,
dead.
no blonde jokes.
Wait, why me? I didn't do anything.
I
If
did
Lillian
something.
were here.
No, you said we'd all be dead.
Oh yeah.
Just me.
You didn't disagree, so.
I said
did.
whoa. I
Whoa.
think that implies.
Woe is me.
I said woe is me. That
By
that
association,
implies
you'd
it.
be dead.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
well.
problem for you, Will. You should be aware.
Remind me to never be in the same area as Lillian then.
She wants to come on and talk about the problems with
Or
the U.S.
Abby.
with the U.S.
I think a
clothing
couple
industry.
times last time I was here, we'd say something and she'd be like, she'd have her angry face. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she would glare at
She
you.
can't do
She
it
did
very well.
glare at me one or two times.
She's good at glaring at people.
We're like amazing friends and I love her, but we are like polar opposites sometimes. It's kind of funny. Especially the way we dress.
Interesting.
Abby, if you're listening,
Love you.
you apologize for what you just said real quick. All right. Well,
I didn't say anything mean. I didn't mean any of that negatively.
fair enough then.
Anyway,
Anyway, folks, I think that's where we'll leave it. Will, should
Is
we?
that where
I
we'll
don't
leave
know. Do we got anything else we need to get to?
I don't know.
Will's on his
Here.
phone.
I had to check something important.
Very important, no doubt.
Too important to say on the podcast.
That's
so,
right. You just don't want to offend anyone.
Of course not. Why would I want to do that?
Was it your
I don't know.
No, it's not my mom actually. I do love my mom though. Love you, mom, if you're listening.
Oh.
We should have my mom on the podcast sometime.
We should. That would be
Should.
fun.
It would be really fun.
That'd be fun. I'm sure she could talk about all the embarrassing ins and outs of your life.
I mean, she
Yes.
could.
And here's a
Or-
photo of when Will was
or-
a baby.
Okay, but the baby photos of me go hard though.
Really?
I was the cutest baby. And also
Nah.
the most well behaved.
I was.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
I was also the most well behaved baby because I never cried.
That's not a good thing.
No. But what do you mean by that?
If a baby's born and they don't cry, like, that's a serious problem.
Is it?
It
like,
means they
what?
can't breathe because the first thing they do is cry. So if a baby doesn't cry, like, that's worrying.
Well, usually it means they can't breathe. For me, it just meant I was just too manly, even as a baby, to cry.
Oh,
Like, what am
You
I?
were the
like,
Chad baby.
topic.
What
This
am
is
I?
the topic.
What am I crying about? Like, I just came out of the womb and now I'm like experiencing the world. Like, what is
Okay.
there to cry about?
This is a topic I have an opinion on. Men crying. So,
Ooh.
men need to be the emotional rock of the family. I agree with that. Now, controlling your emotions doesn't mean not having them. And what I tell people is I'm reading about back in like the Middle Ages, right? And these Charlemagne the Great, right, the conqueror, he
Charlemagne?
would cry on the battlefield when he lost his companions, and it wasn't seen as unmanly. It was manly because he was like, you know,
No, I
weeping for these
agree.
people. So I think crying isn't unmanly. Being like an emotional wreck and making bad decisions because of your emotions is unmanly. But that's something I have a very strong opinion on.
No, I
'Cause
agree.
Men don't get emotional support, and while I don't think like they just don't need it as much as women do, but the world is really closed off for that, and yeah. There you go.
Yeah, here's how to settle this. Like, if you think it's unmanly to cry, then you're calling Jesus unmanly.
True.
Because
That's right.
shortest verse in the Bible, Jesus wept.
Amen.
So he did cry over the death of one of his friends who he knew he was gonna revive
Right.
Right.
like a minute later.
Emotions happen.
So
yeah.
crying over your lost companions in the battlefield. It's a
Crying
very
is
manly
not
thing to
unmanly.
do.
If you're crying about like video games,
Okay,
Okay,
that's
well,
unmanly.
no,
No,
that's-
that
It
no.
depends.
It depends.
It depends.
it depends.
Okay,
But
because like
I think-
when this little robot who had to blow himself up
your
to
Minecraft
save a
dog.
bird made me cry. Okay, it was an emotional time for me.
okay, like if it's your Minecraft dog, I get it. But I'm just saying, there's a difference between like being an emotional and unstable
Yeah.
man and like just crying about something.
Like,
that deserves
crying
to be
over
cried
spilled milk over crying over.
Like
something
I've seen my
important.
dad cry, and I didn't get that at all. I was like, oh, this is a serious thing. Like that's,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
That's what it should tell
You
you.
know something's wrong when dad's
Yeah,
crying.
yeah. I
Yeah.
love those memes.
If a real man is crying, you should get the sense of
Exactly.
like, this is a serious thing. This is a heavy
Yeah,
thing.
their
not-
their tears should mean something. It shouldn't be for not.
Exactly. And I'll be honest, women do cry a lot, and like I cry a lot about stupid things. So men's tears are gonna mean a lot more than women's tears, which might not mean anything. I get it.
Well,
Depends on the woman.
It
yeah,
depends.
yes.
It
I mean,
depends on
tears
what's
from a
going on.
blonde? Who knows?
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, Abby. You're the exception to that.
Oh yeah, if Abby's crying, it's serious too. It's the same thing. But yeah,
All right. Well,
that's a good thing.
Wow.
Good
we're
discussion.
at the hour mark. We're right where we should be. So
Well,
Nice.
sick.
thanks for listening to the W Ritz Podcast today, listeners. Anna, thanks for coming on.
You're
Oh.
welcome.
William, it's always wonderful to co-host the W Ritz Podcast for
It
you.
is wonderful.
Love you, bro.
We had a very wonderful guest.
Wonderful.
Love you too, Isaac.
Thanks, man.
So one thing I forgot to mention this earlier. I'm gonna plug this real quick. You know, if you like Mario Kart Wii, sometimes on Friday nights we'll have little Mario Kart Wii tournaments. Me and the boys. You know,
With
if you-
James.
with James, with Ben, the Lubners.
Danny,
gotta love those
Danny boy.
boys. Love Danny, love Will, love Ben, love Lucas, love JP, love them all. Anyway, if you're interested, talk to me about it. I'll get you in contact. We haven't had it in a while, but I think we're planning on having it again soon. Maybe. I don't know.
Very fun.
Hopefully.
Who's your character? Who do you play?
Dry Bones.
Ooh, nice.
What about you, Isaac? Who do you play in Mario Kart Wii?
Generally, I know it's kind of basic, but I like Yoshi. He's cute. He's green.
I
You
don't
into big noses?
Yes, absolutely.
know how good Yoshi is because the
I don't know.
characters are
A lot
actually
of
they have
people-
different stats actually.
Yeah, I know they do. I don't pay attention to the stats. I just choose the character I like the
I
best.
heard Dry Bones is okay.
Well, just like you.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
No problem, bro. All right. Until next time, listeners, you've been listening to the W Ritz Podcast, the best podcast on the internet. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back at some point. We don't know when, but we'll be back at some point.